Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Reid, and in today's video I'm actually starting a new series. And what we're doing in this series is I'm going to show you how I'm going to write a pop song with nothing but my laptop. I'm limiting myself to just the internal microphone and the keyboard to play all the musical instruments. Most people will tell you, like, to get started with music production stuff, you need like an audio interface, a condenser microphone, monitors. But I think when you're first starting out, you should start out with what you have. So that's kind of why I'm making this video and showing you how you can get the stuff you kind of want just off the tools you already have, like just your laptop. I'm going to be showing how to do this on a MacBook Pro, but this can be done on a Windows PC. I'm going to be using Garageband actually, which comes with MacBooks. It's free, so I think a lot more people could follow this video if I'm showing some free software. But if you're using Windows, there's a free version of Pro Tools, a free version of Ableton. I'd probably start with Ableton or FL Studio, one of those ones. They're easy to create pop type music with a bunch of MIDI and stuff. We'll get into this in the video, what MIDI is and all that, but this is the intro. Let's get into the video. Okay, in the first video we're going to talk about the drums. I think drums are probably the most important thing when you're creating pop music. Think about it, like when you're listening to pop music, sometimes it's like at parties where people are dancing and stuff, so you want to really get that like upbeat type of tempo going and just kind of like get people like crazy about this stuff. I'm going to be showing how to do this in GarageBand, so let's get started. Okay, so now I have GarageBand open. Other DAWs will be sort of similar to this, opening a project and setting all your settings and stuff, but GarageBand makes this pretty easy, so that's what I'm going to be using for the tutorial for this whole series. So let's open up an empty project here. I can kind of show you what we're going to start doing. Once you open up your project, you'll be prompted with these tracks you can make. A software instrument is basically an instrument that is on the computer, a software instrument, pretty obvious, and you can play stuff on your keyboard like on your Mac, or you can plug in a MIDI keyboard and start like programming MIDI in. We'll get into that later, but that's pretty much what a software instrument is. Then there's also audio options where you can plug a microphone into your computer. In the example of this series, we're going to be using the internal microphone on the computer. We'll see how that goes, if that sounds any bit good. You can also plug a guitar into your computer. There's a drummer track. It kind of uses like AI to program a part that might sound good. I don't really use this because I'm kind of a control freak and like to program my own MIDI parts when doing drums. That's what we're going to be doing in this tutorial, and I recommend it if you want your songs to sound unique, but that's just my opinion. So we're going to do a software instrument just to get this started. So once you open it up, it kind of defaults to the electric piano here, but on the side here you have your category of instruments. There's the electronic drum kit. That's what we're going to be using today. You could do the drum kit, but that's more of an acoustic kit for like rock music, metal music, that type of stuff. So let's do electronic drum kit. And we're going to select just the after party, keep this pretty simple. And you could just go through all these and find the sound that you like the most for whatever type of track you're making, but I find this to work just to keep it basic. And then once you're in here, if you do Command K on your keyboard, it opens up like a little keyboard here on the screen. And you can like press around on your keyboard, get different octaves and stuff. There's different drums assigned to each key. You can also use your mouse if you want. If you don't have a keyboard for some reason, who doesn't have a keyboard? Do you? For pop music, a lot of times that's 4 on the floor, which that just basically means there's 4 beats in a measure. Let me just play an example. So if you go like, if you do that, you can basically just get around and do whatever you need to do. A lot of pop music will just start with that. I'm throwing a lot at you, but you can always ask me questions in the comments so I can clarify things. But you choose the tempo of your song. I'm going to keep it at 120 because that's a pretty good tempo for pop music. But anyways, you can hit record and just start going. You'll want this metronome selected so you're actually playing in time. It's also referred to as a click track. If you hit R on your keyboard, you can start recording. And you can hear the click track. Well, I can hear it anyways. Can you hear it? 4 on the floor would just be going with every click here. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And A on the keyboard is the bass drum. 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so that's basically that. And I always play this crap out of time. It's so hard to play it right on like a keyboard. If you double click this region here where it says after party and shows all those notes, this is what MIDI is. It's kind of like programmable notes on a grid, and you can move all these and time them exactly right, but a lot easier way to do this. I used to manually move these, but there's such an easier way. You do time quantize, and you can do a quarter note, and it makes all those go right on the exact beat. So if you hear this now, 3, it's right on the beat. which is really nice. That's what you want for pop music. And then a lot of times with pop music, on the 2 and the 4, you'll add a snare drum with it. So if we copy this note, you do this by doing Option and just dragging. You can add a snare on 2 and 4 here. Like that. Let's hear what this sounds like. And that's kind of a little dull. In a lot of pop music, they'll also add claps. Claps give energy to the mix, so we'll add that here real quick. Let's hear what that sounds like. You feel like you're in the club? All eyes on us. Probably got a copyright strike. You can have that to like start a song, like a boom, boom. And then once you get in the verses, you might want to add some like hi-hats or something. So I usually recommend like 8 notes just to get started. And I'm gonna copy and paste all that so I don't have to do that 4 more times. Okay, let's hear what this sounds like. Already sounding like a real song, right? Anyways, we got that now. I'm shortening that because that other stuff isn't needed. You could maybe even later in the song add more energy. There's probably a maraca in here. Let's see. You might want to do like a 16th note maraca type thing going here. Oops. I don't know how to use the keyboard. But you can copy and paste this with the Option key again. Now let's hear what this sounds like. It's pretty rockin'. Yeah, that can get you pretty much started on this. You just kind of arrange it. Oh, one of my lights went out. But you kind of just arrange it in a way where you kind of just keep building energy up. It's like so dramatic with that light gone now. Might as well wrap this video up because my lighting's getting really bad. The main key takeaway from this is to kind of just start with a 4 on the floor. You can do a different type of vibe. I usually recommend that one just to get started. It's kind of an easy thing to do. And then you can change the beat up once like you add some bass or something to like accent the bass notes. That's pretty much all there is to the beat. Your homework for this week is to create a beat and then show me. I would love to hear your guys' beats, see if you come up with something great. I just threw this together. You guys can make something way much better than I just did, so please do that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way we can share each other's songs at the end. You can see my process all the way, and maybe you can share a little bit of tips with me myself. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.